Throughout this campaign, we have been trying to expose you to awesome progressive candidates from around the country. And we've been doing that generally one at a time. Well, we have a special treat for you. Two candidates will be joining us, both running for office in Arizona. We were very lucky to be joined by Analise Ortiz as well as Brianna Westbrook. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here, find out about your races. First, though, you're both running in Arizona. Arizona has been very much in the news over the past year or so. Generally, when people nationally talk about Arizona politics, there's been a lot of focus on Kyrsten Sinema over the past year. What is it like running as progressives in a state where so much of the national political attention is on a figure who's largely seen to be doing bad things? If I could start with you, Analise, what do you think about this?
You know, I have been surprised by just how many voters at the doors are bringing up Sinema as soon as I get there and knock on their door. They are asking, what are you going to do to not be like Sinema? What can we do to hold her accountable? Can you believe that she has failed us on voting rights? These are the real concerns that are being raised by voters in my district. And I think it really shows that she has really disappointed people from all across the political spectrum. And Democrats are really going to have to work hard to make up for that and to earn back the trust of these voters who voted for Sinema. And that's why I think it's so important to have those relational conversations at the door, meaningful conversations with voters to help them understand that the reason why we need strong progressives in office is so that we can ensure there are true representatives of our community and not people that will turn around and take money from big corporate interests that will then ultimately hurt us.
Yeah, Brianna, what do you make of being a progressive in Arizona these days?
Well, I'm incredibly hopeful of the future, particularly 2022. As I've been campaigning and meeting other candidates that are running in districts that are neighboring mine, I'm hopeful for what we can accomplish together. I believe that there's a lot of solidarity right now in Arizona among the progressive movement. And that's one thing I could thank Sinema for. You know, we have pretty much united Democrats along the spectrum over here on the left in the fight for a better world. You know, what that means is, higher wages, affordable living, making sure that people have health care. All of this attention on Sinema has brought attention to these issues that have always existed in Arizona, but now are front and center because Sinema has obstructed much of the legislation that Democrats have had on their agenda.
Well, I'm glad there's been at least some silver lining there. It's been frustrating to watch nationally, but if I can continue on with you, Brianna, we want people here at the Damage Report. We want people to be focused on not just the highest profile races for president, senators, congresspeople. You're running for District 5 in the state. Tell me a little bit about what you can get accomplished working at the state level in Arizona. What do you have as your main goals if you are to win?
Well, we can accomplish a lot. Our state legislatures are the laboratories for democracy, right? That's what they say. And we live in an unprecedented time. We continue to say that, but in reality, we keep shifting further and further toward the authoritarian right, particularly here in Arizona. So, by having elected officials in office that are unapologetically progressive, standing up for the people in this current climate, it is adamantly important. There's things that I have centered in my campaign platform that really matter to this district. And they matter because I've listened to the people of this district, which has been absent for a very long time. Lobbying and advocating for, a cap on rental increases, because right now we have unregulated capitalism. Landlords are raising rent upwards of 20% in some neighborhoods. And that's just not sustainable. That's not sustainable for the future of our state. Making sure that we can achieve higher wages for Arizona families. We know that here in the state of Arizona in particular, our minimum wage is not enough. When we compare the cost of living, we need to earn at least $20 an hour for a family of four. These are things that are common sense that go across party lines. These people are hurting here in Arizona, and they need champions for working class issues. And I will do that unapologetically.
Awesome. Analise, tell me a little bit about your background leading up to this race, deciding to run for this office. How did that How was that process? And so far, how's the campaign going?
Yes, so thank you for asking. I was born and raised in Arizona, and I appreciate the question about the importance of state level races, because the first time I was ever introduced to state politics or what goes on at the Capitol, I was a young journalism student at ASU. And growing up, I knew there were injustices that existed in this state, from my public school teachers having to dig into their own pockets to pay for school supplies, to Sheriff Arpaio terrorizing and tearing apart families. And when I was assigned to report on legislation at the state capitol as a student reporter, that's when I really started to connect the dots, that the decisions being made there every day were the reasons why our families were hurting. And so I stopped reporting because I really wanted to do something about these issues. I didn't want to just report on it. And I started working for the ACLU. And for the past several years, I've been using my reporting skills to train people in my community on how to speak publicly about the issues they care about, how to give testimony at the Capitol. And the campaign, I decided to run because we are in such an urgent moment right now. As Brianna was saying, with the cost of housing skyrocketing in this state, with families who are working multiple jobs and still having a hard time paying for rent and putting food on the table, it is a very urgent moment. And my motivation for running also comes from being an auntie to 6 kids who are growing up here, and their public schools are still as underfunded as they were when I was a kid. And so I am running in the new legislative district 24, which encompasses West Phoenix and Glendale. The race is going really well so far. A lot of voters in the community that I'm talking to are expressing a real desire for change and for bold leadership. And I'm really looking forward to continuing those conversations and ultimately winning and being able to deliver on that leadership.
Awesome. Now, I know there is an event coming up in just a couple of weeks. Wednesday, March 30th, an event designed to support progressives running in Arizona. Can you both tell me a little bit about what the event is about, what you hope to accomplish?
Well, the event is about solidarity, right? And building a coalition of progressives that could get into the legislature and effectively work together to pass the legislation that meets the moment. We are very tactful in this particular fundraiser. It's going to uplift not only my campaign but Analise's, an amazing organizer in South Phoenix who's running in a very Democratic district and a swing pickup district. 2 House candidates and 2 Senate candidates. And what we hope to effectively do is create a block of power in the state legislature to raise the important issues that meet the moment, and go in there and effectively get the job done, right? And advocate for Arizona families.
Awesome. Analise, anything to add to that?
To me, it's very important that we are mobilizing young people as well. And I think this event is going to be in the heart of Brianna's district in downtown Phoenix. It will hopefully be a lot of fun. We have Barbara Seville who's going to be performing. And I think it's so important to help people really understand politics as something that is part of our everyday lives. And that means it can be something we can come together and have a celebration about these 4 women that are running to bring progressive power to the state capitol. And it's important to me to be mobilizing young voters who often feel left out of party politics, and like the candidates are not talking to them or including them and engaging them in a way that is meaningful. And that's what we really hope to do, I think, with this event, and as well with all of our campaigns, and then helping people understand the broader picture that if Brianna is elected in downtown Phoenix, I am elected in West Phoenix, we have strong representation in South Phoenix and in Mesa, where one of the other candidates will be running. We can all come together and deliver real change for working class people who have these similar shared interests, even across the different legislative districts that we might be in.
Well, that is awesome to hear. I hope that it's a big success. Progressives could use a national boost, and Arizona in particular, as we started off with. It's left a bad taste in people's mouths, the contribution that some Democrats there have given. So it's good to see good progressives standing together and running in races at a variety of levels. So to both of you, I want to thank you for joining me. In closing though, is there anything that people watching, if they're in the area that potentially can get involved, anything that you would want them to do to help out in the effort?
Yes, if people want to sign up to volunteer, my website is ortiz4az.com. I think that would be great. And Brianna, anything on your end?
Well, go right to the website, westbrookforarizona.com. You can volunteer and donate, and that's important to fund this campaign, because one of my opponents since our campaign announcement, and I think this is validation that they're scared. They being the corporations that have had a lot of interest in this particular district. Since our campaign announcement, Raython, the for-profit healthcare industry, the Realtors Association, Citigroup, all of these different entities that do not have the same moral conviction that we do to uplift just working class families are loading my primary challenger's campaign war chest because they're terrified. They know that we can win this race, and they know what's going to happen when we get in there. There's going to be a fighter for the people now, not the corporations.
Okay, an important thing for people to focus on. And again, thank you to both of you, and good luck in your campaigns.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.